Hey, yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace. You gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience under pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the burst, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really now I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. Bought my chicken and it's rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the rip and we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, they fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing ya. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat, I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop. I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas, you gon' see the...
Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't draw the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't draw the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, I need it now, told him on the lay. I've been moving dog, yeah, I'm on the way. I don't hear the talk, don't care what they say. I don't got no patience, I can't ever wait. I've been trying to get it, running up all these digits. And I've been in the gym, I've been up doing minutes. I just put in that work, told them it's strictly business. And I see through the face, they all just burning bridges. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't draw the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't draw the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah, they don't want it done like I want it, dog. Yeah, they say they want it, then they took the summer off. I've been going down the list, checking numbers off. I was checking on your numbers, told them something's off. I was at the bottom, now you know I'm climbing. Now they sending deals, they know I ain't signing. They been trying to sell it, they know I ain't buying. When they send a text, dog, I ain't replying. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't draw the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Feel like John Morant, need a triple-double. Told him check the stats, yeah, I got a couple. I don't draw the ball, now I never fumble. I'm the MVP, now I feel like Russell. Yeah. Head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen, now we not a minute late. Seen them down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a meal, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers, fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. Come down and I'll meet him at a gate. Got a check and I bought myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen, now we not a minute late.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45, where you can catch me in the studio cracking up at chat. Shout out to K Diggity. He says, I love that goat so much it makes me want to cuss. Shout out to you, brother. I didn't think there was anyone else out there that loved the goats as much as I did. But what is, volume must be clipping there. Shout out to K Diggity once again. But what is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Let me fix this level a little bit. There we go. But welcome back to another amazing live stream, guys. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin as price is literally like almost to the dollar where it was on last night's live stream. So not that much has happened in price, but I want to take a look at the long about those key levels on Bitcoin. Probably won't spend too much time here. And shout out to, I think it was a deal last night, was talking about a spider line on the chart, which I did indeed find. So I want to take a look at some of those spider lines, as sometimes these can give us more macro levels of support. And we all know how strong those spider lines are, so I want to bring those up to you guys. Shout out to Creighton C. Thank you for that super chat, bro. I appreciate you. He says, ooh, fresh fade. Shout out to Creighton C. I appreciate that, bro. Where's Javit the Barber? If you're in here, bro, show yourself. You got to give us a rating on the fade here. But shout out to Creighton. Thank you for that super chat. But we got a few important things to look at here, guys. We're also going to be taking a look at the liquidation heat map and talk about why I am kind of sussed out with the long position that I'm currently sitting in right now, and why we could potentially see a move a little bit lower into our next key level, which I am going to go over with you guys tonight. But before we get into it, guys, don't forget to smash up that like button. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some extra free chances to win some free crypto, or maybe even a Frankie Candles hat. We've been trying to give these hats away, trying to hit those like goals, but we just cannot hit them. But if we get 550 likes on tonight's live stream, by some miracle, I will give away 3 Frankie Candles hats tonight. I'll do it tonight. We won't even wait till Friday, and we'll also add some more free giveaways to Friday's live stream as well. Shout out to Adil, said, lol, I love you, brother. I'm glad you found what I was looking at. Shout out to Adil. We will be bringing up that spider line a little bit later in the stream, so shout out to you, brother. And before we jump into it, let's go ahead and say what's up to the CandleMafia. We got French Toaster in the chat. What is going on? Mr. 100, what is up, bro? Thank you for being here. We got K Diggity showing love for the goats. We got Greg, as always, probably wants to see Bonk. Maybe we'll take a look at Bonk for you today, Greg. Shout out to you, man. Thank you for always being here. Creighton C with the super chat. We got Tony D, Rob the Crypto Snob, Crypto Anon, Crypto Billy, Chemistry Bro, Captain Kirk. You guys know who they are. Show the mod some love in the chat. Oh my God, I just inhaled something. Hopefully it wasn't some kind of bug. But shout out to Mike Vito, my paisan. What is going on, brother? We got Servando Estrada in the chat, and Wildcat. And last but not least, guys, shout out to Wayne C, Emax, and the other TJ. What is going on, guys? Where's Dave Digital? We got to wait for Dave to start the show. I'm just kidding. We'll wait for him to pop in. He will pop in here soon, I'm sure. But while we're waiting for Dave, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Real quick, guys. Real quick. Shout out to Derek Brown. Wants to see Brett. Yeah, we could try to take a look at Brett today. Did you shave your head bald? Shout out to Wildcat. No, not completely bald. I'm kidding, guys. I did. I shaved it completely bald. Oh, just kidding. Not completely bald. Just got the typical haircut. Same haircut I get every single time. They do it up nice with the gel at the barber shop. It is pretty hot in here. Maybe I'll rock no hat today. I don't know. But shout out to you guys. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump on into the charts and take a look at what the heck Bitcoin's going to do next and see if we can't figure this thing out. What is up, Dylan? I see you, brother. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Ibra, says fresh. Let's go. Let's see. Nice tight cut. Shout out to Wildcat. Nice fade, Mike Vito. Thank you very much. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get in here. I pay my barber well, and the reason behind this is because I spent almost 2 full years trying to find someone who could cut my hair down in the ATL like they cut it in New York, and I just can't find anybody. I finally found my boy Francie. Fire name as well. I think his real name is Francis. But yeah, so I pay him pretty good. I tip him really well, and he's like, every time I go there, he's like, Frankie, he's like, oh, and he's like, he like massaged me today. It was crazy. Shout out to my barber. I don't think he knows I have a YouTube channel, so he's not in here, but if he was, I'd say shout out to you, bro. Thank you for finally cutting my hair well down here in the ATL. Yo, shout out to Dew says, yo, you're in the ATL. I am near the vicinity, absolutely. Shout out to Dew. I assume you're probably close. Shout out to you, bro. Let's go ahead and continue on. Yeah, dude, shout out to XR, said, dude, sport that hair. Sport that hair, too. It's super fresh. Shout out to you, bro. And Ibra says he's a barber. Come to Switzerland. Hey, I would make quite a travel to get a nice haircut. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty picky about my hair. Oh, God. The older I get, oh, God, the more it falls out. Anyway, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin. I'm actually going to rock this hat off for a minute because it is hot AF in here right now. But let's take a look at Bitcoin here, guys, as we are still within our macro range. I'm not even going to talk about that today just because we take a look at this every single day, and there's really nothing else to update here. We rejected the value area high where we looked for the short setup, took it down to the POC, and now we are approaching that value area low, which is kind of reason number one why I am a little bit suspicious of getting another move to the downside here to come visit our next key level of support, which, excuse me, surprise, surprise, remains exactly the same here, guys, sitting at 63,563 and 62,575, where we have not only our 786, but also our value area low of the range here. Let me actually extend this value area all the way to the right. And there you go. Yeah, just shift just a tiny bit. But for the most part, that level does remain almost exactly the same. And, there's actually a few different reasons that I would be potentially anticipating a drop into this zone. Number one has to do with the fact that as we get a bounce off this golden pocket, if we lose this golden pocket, guys, the next likely place that I would be looking, let's pretend we're not looking at the volume profile and we are simply just looking at our Fibonacci retracement levels here. Once you lose that golden pocket, you are probably going to anticipate that 786 to come in, right? So that's number one. That's the number one reason why I would anticipate price to potentially get down to that 786. But also just in the grand scheme of that volume profile, we all know, obviously, you reject the high. You're looking for price to go to the POC. That is the next likely place for price to go. Remember that POC does act as a magnet for price. That is why the trades, shorts and longs, are so high probability as you deviate outside of the range, because you have that POC just like acting as a super magnet, trying to suck price back down to it, making it a very high likelihood area to target if you do enter that short or even a long, right? And then if you flip that POC, that's where you can look for the full rotation of the range. And just volume profiles, it's not often that you front run a value area low by a few bucks like this and you don't actually come down and test it, right? So the fact that if you lose the golden pocket, you naturally look to the 786, and the fact that we are now have rejected that POC, you are naturally going to anticipate that value area low. And there is actually a third reason why I would be potentially anticipating price to come down here. Now, I will preface that with I am currently in a scalp long with the premium Discord, and I'll be honest with you. Was I in the trade? I don't, did we show the trade yesterday? I don't remember if we did or not. But the one thing I will say here, guys, is this has been a pretty boring trade to watch. It's like watching paint dry. I just messaged the Discord. I was like, guys, this is brutal right now. But, we are not getting much follow through on the things that I was looking for. We got our confirmations to enter the trade down here. And we are not really getting the follow through that I would have liked. The trade still is in profit. But again, it is a little bit lower probability in my opinion. I am feeling a little bit wish-washy on this trade. So I do have my stop loss set, or I will stop myself out of this pretty soon. If I walk away from the computer or go to bed or something, I will set my stop loss. I think I have it off right now because I'm sitting at the desk. But as we're looking at this, again, like the fact that we're not really seeing the follow through that we wanted at our setup does kind of like decrease the probability of it playing out in full for us. So again, another reason why I would be looking for that move back down to the bottom of the range. And last, but certainly not least, guys, I do want to pull up the liquidation heat map, and shout out to High Block Capital. They just released their new user interface. Woo, baby, this thing is saucy. But anyway, if you guys don't know, High Block Capital is what I use to look at the liquidation heat maps, as well as other tools. We look at the liquidation levels, and then they have a bunch of different tools. I'm not going to go through them all right now, but if this looks a little different, that's why. They just released a new user interface. But, oh no, don't do this to me midstream. Okay, mouse just froze up for a second, guys. Oh, God. Hey, Mrs. Candles. Let's see if we can get Mrs. Candles here. Mrs. Candles. All right, we'll see if she comes. I think it is getting kind of hot in here, guys. I'm actually gonna pop on the that camera fan as well, so we do not lose the camera here. Yeah, this is brutal. I got the fan on. There's no AC. Mrs. Candles. She's gonna lose her mind if she comes in here. She's gonna be like, "What?" Okay, well, we'll continue on. Hopefully she gets in here at some point, or maybe she just cranked on the AC. But what I want to take a look at here, guys, is that liquidation heat map, and we did look at this yesterday. Oh, and look at this. Shout out to Tony D. They took away the little tags that drove me absolutely crazy. Tony D actually talked to them about that to see if there was an option to get those labels that were stuck on your cursor to go away, and we finally can look at it, without those tags in our way. Let's go. Shout out to High Block Capital. But as you guys can see here, we do have a little bit of a hot spot of liquidity down here. And bear with me, guys. Like, I literally just started looking at this new user interface like 5 minutes before the stream, so I'm not 100% sure how everything works. So I may not be able to like do everything I want here. But as you guys can see, we do have some liquidity down here. I wish I could see what is the price down here. Let me see. Bada boom, bada bing. This is very hard to do. I just want to see the price of this liquidity. Oh, here we go. Yeah. About 60, right in this pocket, right at around 62,700, all the way down to about, I would say about 62K. This little pocket of liquidity right here is sitting, right, I would call it between 62.4 and about 63K. So if we pull up the chart here, 62.4 does get you just below your 786, which would be that area where we would be looking for long positions if we got down there and we were able to get some bullish confirmations. But essentially, guys, that liquidity is sitting right near this long zone. And just another reason, we also know that liquidity does act like a magnet for price. So if we know that, it's just another reason to potentially look for a push lower into the bottom of this range towards that 786 Fibonacci retracement. And then as we approach this level, we can then analyze the price action to see if we can get any long confirmations like we did down here before taking the long trade that we took a while ago back up to that value area high. So it would be kind of the same exact kind of setup here, but we would have to see those bullish confirmations, right? We're not just looking to dip below that value area and then just randomly long. We need to have those entry triggers, which we do go in more detail in the premium Discord. But overall, guys, that is kind of what we're looking at. Like I said, Bitcoin is literally just sitting in almost the exact same spot. Where are we here? Yeah, let's see. Let me come down to the 1 hour. Where was yesterday was the 18th at about 5 p.m., 6 p.m. So, yeah, price was sitting like right here yesterday, and now we are just sitting in the same exact spot. But if this long trade does wind up playing out, I could try to pull it up for you guys here in a second. I will pull it up and show it in a minute. But, you know, if we do wind up getting the bounce, the idea here is to get a bounce up to some local highs here. I am treating this as a scalp based off the fact that I am potentially anticipating a little bit more downside to come visit that more high probability level. But if we don't get down to that value area low and for some weird reason we front run it, we do have that long position to continue paying us out, as well as some longs that I am holding from lower. And let me just go ahead and pull up this long position right here. It is on Blowfin. Pretty small position. This is a smaller account for me. I think I only started this account with $1,500. But $12,000 position, up 28%, $115. Not too bad. Still have the Ethereum long open. Profits have already been taken on this. I will go over this a little bit more. Actually, I don't think you guys, can you guys even see this, or am I covering these positions? Oh, I am covering that. That's beautiful. Let me hide my face real quick. Bada boom, bada bing. Where's the camera? Boom. There you guys go. So there is the long, right? $12,000, up $110, 27%. And then that Ethereum long is up about $1,000, 275%, right? Profits taken on the Ethereum long. I'm sorry, on the Ethereum short, I have profits taken. I do not have profits taken on the Bitcoin long. However, this is a smaller position. And like I said, you know, this hasn't really played out much just yet. So we'll see if that winds up playing out. If not, I will stop myself out around break even, maybe at a small loss. And then at that point, chances are things are probably dumping and the Ethereum short will continue to play us out. And I will go over that Ethereum short when we take a look at the ETH chart. But there we go. I didn't realize I was covering those trades like perfectly. But there we go. Shout out to Blowfin. If you guys want to trade on Blowfin, or if you're looking for a place to trade and you're having trouble getting on other exchanges, Blowfin seems to be giving people the least amount of issues. You can check the link in the description down below, or if you don't want to use our link, you can simply just go to blowfin.com and sign up right there. But that's basically what I'm looking at on Bitcoin, guys. As far as Market Cipher, we did have a green dot printing before on the 4 hour here, which could have been good news, but it did disappear. Like I said, this is a little bit sketchy. There's no follow-through on this trade. So again, if we get stopped out, no big deal. That is the key or the importance of managing your risk. So there we go. Shout out to Frankie Candles. I'll go ahead and pin that. Shout out to Femex as well. If you guys want to sign up for Femex, depending on where you live, you may have issues getting on there. If you do, you can check out Blowfin. But those are my two favorite exchanges, or the exchanges that I've been trading on the most lately. But with this 4 hour green dot disappearing, guys, this is a little bit sus. I'll be honest. Like I said, right? Like this trade that we took, this is why managing the risk is very, very important. I think a lot of people think like, hey, once I become a profitable trader, I'll just get into my trades and I'll be so confident. I'll put $1 million on every trade and I'll win all the time. And to be honest with you guys, like I'll just be quite frank with you right now. You know, there's times where I'm not that confident, right? And the fact that we're not seeing the follow through here, it is nice that we are potentially putting in a higher low here to continue that uptrend. And if I hide this larger level here, you guys can see we are coming down for a potential golden pocket retest here, but if we do not stick this golden pocket 786, chances are I probably want to get out of that trade to look for that lower level to come for the reasons that we just went over. But other than that, like 15-minute money flow is just kind of wonked out here. It just doesn't really look the best. I'm actually kind of tempted to close this and just pocket the $100, right? And just so it's it's at least like kind of like stopping myself out in profit. But I'll risk it for the biscuit. Maybe we'll get stopped out live on stream here. I'll have to see what happens. But let's go ahead and shout out to Alex. Alex says Frankie with hair. Shout out to Alex. All right, let's see. Shout out to Ollie B says I have a Blowfin account, but no idea how to use it. Would you be able to make a video in the future on how to use it? Shout out to Ollie B. It's almost like you're reading my mind, brother. Yeah, maybe we will come out with a tutorial here. Maybe I'll shoot one tomorrow on how to use Blowfin, and maybe we'll sneak a little extra sauce in there and talk about how to take profits or where to look to take profits. So you're not holding your trade in the green and then watching it go all the way back into the red. You got to take that money off the table. So shout out to you, brother. And guys, we are going to be getting back to a lot more content. I'm starting to clear up. So we are going to start getting back to a lot of tutorials, a lot of market updates. We're going to start beefing up the content here, get started back up on the channel for, we haven't done too many pre-records lately, just kind of here and there as Bitcoin's kind of been sideways and I've been dealing with a lot of stuff off camera. But we're about to get back to it, and that is a great video idea. Shout out to Pennywise dropping the hashtag value. Let's see. Shout out to Erads, hopefully I said that right, said when Bitcoin hits 80K, whenever that is, I'm ordering your Frankie Candles hat. Yes, sir. Shout out to you, bro. Well, if you smash that like button, we get 550 likes. I'm going to give away 3 of these things tonight, and maybe you can win one tonight, bro. But let's go ahead and continue on here and take a look at what else we got going on, right? The 15-minute money flow, like, there's no real, again, like this setup does not look beautiful, right? Last night, it actually looked a lot better. We had the 15-minute bullish divergence. We had the money flow coming up on the 15-minute with a 4-hour green dot, and it did wind up giving us a little move here of about almost 2%, which for the most part, like I said, this trade's a little bit smaller for me on my smaller account, but this is typically enough for me to make a decent bit of profit, TP1, and then move my stop loss to break even. But I'm just letting this one ride because it's such a small trade. But there you go, right? I wouldn't really be surprised if this got stopped out. But in the grand scheme of things, guys, simply just still within our volume profile, looking for eventually that value area low to get hit. And let me go ahead and pull up our spider line here. Shout out to Adil. Last night, he was mentioning that spider line here. I believe this is the one that he was talking about, and you can see how beautifully this thing was respected, almost getting tapped to the dollar before giving us that bounce. Nice little confluence there. On the level of support that we were already looking at, which was this golden pocket. Nice little cluster of confluence there as far as your support goes. And there you go. Makes for a beautiful place to look for a little bounce. Can we get it to continue? We'll have to see. I think either we're going to see this thing bounce hard and it'll be like, oh my God, what a great trade, or it'll just be like, stop it out at a small loss, right? But other than that, we have that spider line down below. This is a non-logarithmic spider line. If we turn on, let me turn on the local spider lines. You can see we also have another spider line, which we are technically losing, right? This is not the best sign. But if we do get the push up here, if this long does wind up playing out, flipping this level to support would be a key level sitting at about $65,972. Once we flip that to support, that would likely open up for a little bit more of a move to the upside. But remember, guys, with our money flow in the red on a lot of these higher time frames, such as the 16-hour, we cannot forget the money flow indicates the longer-term trend. This means that a lot of the bounces to the upside are likely to be lackluster to put in lower highs and continue our moves to the downside. Whether that's a move down to our value area low, which is sitting right around here, or if we're going to lose that value area low and come much lower, that is a whole nother story. But we covered those more macro levels of sort and those next big levels to the downside on yesterday's stream. Maybe we'll cover them tomorrow. I don't want to beat the dead horse here. I think everybody knows where we're looking at for that next level of support between 51 and 52K and why. So I'm not really going to cover them too much today. But you can see we also, I mean, even down here, that is also supported by this spider line right here coming in at about 52.7, almost 53K as it trends up. But again, you know, we do have some support down there between 51 and 52K, but I'm not going to go super into that. But for the most part, Let's squeak back above this spider line, hold it, and get at least this scalp long to play out just a little bit. If you guys are curious to where I'm looking to hold this long to, I'll just share with you guys some local targets. Let me come over to the 4 hour. We'll zoom in a bit. And really what I'm looking at here, guys, let me pull up the VWAP. Bada boom. Where are we? There we go. Bada bing. So there's a few things that I'm looking at here. Now, if we pull our full Fibonacci retracement from the absolute high of the move all the way to where we bottomed, or if this is the bottom, you can see our VWAP and our golden pocket are somewhat close to each other. Nothing really too crazy. So what I'm looking at is actually some more local levels. I would be happy on this trade to even just get back up to these previous highs, tap that local golden pocket. I'd be happy with that. And then more conservatively, you could see we're getting pretty close to this other local golden pocket. This is kind of like, this is probably going to be a TP1 for me, right? Like I said, oftentimes that 2% is enough for me to take a profit and then move my stop loss to entry, and then it's a guaranteed winning trade. But as far as this trade, as I have not taken profits yet, I would probably wait for this to move up. If we do hit here, I will take a TP1, move my stop loss to entry, and then I'm like, all right, I'm out. I got my money, and if it keeps going, cool, keep paying me. If not, get me out in profit. I do not want to lose any money. I want to keep this account growing. So those are the local TPs for me. Not that you should be longing Bitcoin right now to look to come up to this level. My entry was down here, I believe at right here, 60, almost at the body of this candle, the bottom of the body here, between at about, I'll just pull up the actual entry. I don't want to make it up. Let's see here. Bitcoin long, 64,369. Bada boom. And I'll just grab the trade tool here just so I can mark it out on the chart. 64,369. Bada boom. Boom, right? So that is my entry. So I am in from all the way down here, right? So I'm already in profit. So I'm not saying to long here and expect to come up there. Not a trade signal, right? I'm just showing you guys the trade that I took. If you wanted to enter this trade, that entry was not, it was yesterday, right? Too late for this. So at least for me, right? But if we do get up there, that'll be my TP1 sitting between, at the golden pocket 786, between 65,993 and 66,580. So there you go, guys. That is essentially, what I'm looking at as far as Bitcoin. That's the local trade. Other than that, like nothing really going on here. We're just wiggling sideways in that macro range. Are we going to break down? Who knows? But we also have this key level of support. So again, unless we start breaking down below that 786 with no bullish confirmations, that is where I'd expect the bigger move down to, potentially lower prices. But until then, we're simply inside the volume profile, guys. Like the beautiful peace of mind you have with the volume profiles. Oh my God, Bitcoin's dumping. What's going to happen? It's like, okay, cool. We got key support down here. So until we break this, I'm not really freaked out. But again, with the money flow coming in the red, it's not impossible to break down below here. But we have to break those levels, right? So there you go. That is what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. Daily green dot, like this thing has been lingering for a few days now. We came up, rejected. Now we're starting to wiggle back up here. Money flow is more chopped up than ever. So nothing really to take away from that money flow, but we'll just see. Like I said yesterday on the stream, if we are going to get a bigger move up, right, a significant move to the upside, I do think that daily green dot will likely be the thing to start the move. But we just can't print the dang thing right now. So it's basically a waiting game for me. Other than that, just holding that short on ETH, letting it pay me out, and seeing what price does here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump on over to ETH and see what the heck is going on here. And let's go ahead and break it down. Also, if you guys want to see your favorite altcoins, go ahead and drop them in the chat, but smash that like button first. Let's get to 250 likes before we start looking at the alts, separate from ETH, obviously. I'll take a look at ETH. By the time we're done with ETH, let's get 250 likes, and that will increase the chances. Shout out to Brian. Great question. I'll answer you in a second. If we get 550 likes, guys, tonight I will be giving away 3 Frankie Candles hats. If we get 250 likes before the altcoins, that greatly increases the chances of hitting that before the stream ends. And shout out to Brian. Brian says, Frankie, why do you and others use Bybit for the charts and not Binance that has more volume? Shout out to Brian. So I used to use the Binance chart. And here's the thing, Brian. I'll tell you this, right? To be quite honest with you, there's not going to be, unless you're scalping, there's not that big of a difference in my experience, right? I went through a phase where I only looked at the chart that I was trading, right? So I'd only look at the Femex chart if I was trading on Femex. I would only look at the Bybit chart if I was trading on Bybit, et cetera, so on and so forth, right? But what I learned and what I kind of figured out over time is that any trades that I missed, right? And I was like, man, I front ran my level. Oh, I missed my level by $1. I kept getting these like front ran levels, and it was really frustrating. And as I was trying to figure out what I was hitting, what we would be bouncing off of, turns out once I started looking at the Bybit chart, or not started looking at it, but anytime I looked at the Bybit chart, I noticed that those front runs were happening on Bybit levels. And for some reason, the Bybit levels are just respected like crazy. But to be honest with you, I don't know if that's worth stressing about. This is just the honest answer of why I use Bybit. I don't know if it's worth other people stressing about that. If you miss a trade, you miss a trade. It's okay. But for me, I just noticed over time that the Bybit levels just always got tapped perfectly. And shout out to Darren Does Things. I think he was the one that, we were talking about that like a while ago. We were talking about how the Bybit levels are just absolutely insane. And yeah, now it's basically I exclusively look at the Bybit levels when I'm trading. And then I look at the Bitstamp levels for my longer-term levels simply just because it has the most price history, right? It goes all the way back, all the way back here to about 2011. So that's why I use the levels that or the charts that I use. Again, I don't know if that's worth stressing over for anybody who's not doing that. I don't want anyone thinking like, oh, my God, I don't do that. I'm going to miss all my trades. Not the case, really. But that's why I use the Bybit chart. So hopefully that answers your question. Shout out to You Grow, I Grow. Shout out to you, bro. I like that name. Says, really interesting, Frankie. Love the alpha. No problem, bro. That is what these live streams are made for. Smash that like button if you like that sauce. But let's go ahead and continue on here to Ethereum, guys. And Ethereum, kind of the same thing here. Just kind of consolidating around our point of control. We lost that value area high, got stuck underneath it. I took my short from up here on a local golden pocket retracement. My entry on this is about 3,800, almost even. It's 3,802. So my entry was right up here with the anticipation of coming back into our range. Once we got accepted back into our volume profile, I knew that the next likely place for price to go was going to be that POC. I had then taken some profit off the table. And now that point of control is doing what we expect and acting as a magnet for price. I just hit my desk and my screen flickered. That was kind of nerve-wracking. But, once we got stuck under that value area high, I looked for price to come down to that POC, took some profit, and now that POC is acting like a choppy magnet. So as, this all eyes on this POC, though, right? Once we're able to hold support above this level decisively, that could cause a move back up to the value area high. However, I pointed you guys back to this area of price action in the past where price did actually this is what happens typically with the volume profiles, not just on this area of price, but you reject the value area high. The POC does act like a magnet. You come below it, you're back above, you're back below, you're back above, you're back below, you're back above. But eventually, once you lose it, you get that full rotation of the volume profile, which is what you're anticipating anyway if you're using the volume profiles. But price typically lingers around that point of control, which is literally what we're seeing right now. So what I'm watching here for a bigger move down is simply a break below the POC, get stuck underneath it. That's likely where we get the bigger move down if it's going to happen. But if not, and we hold support on the POC, the next logical level of strong resistance that I would be looking at would be this value area high, which now also has some really, really nice confluence on that golden pocket, right? So bada boom, between 37.59 and 37.11, if we did get a bigger move up, that would be kind of the next spot that I'm looking at for a key level of resistance, right? But pretty simple stuff, right? Like if you're looking at the volume profile, that's going to be pretty obvious, as that's going to be your next level of key resistance. Let's see. Shout out to Seek. Seek Parabolic says, Sol will suffer a bit as meme craze that helped it to Seek. We'll take a look at Solana a little bit deeper into the stream here. Sauce Hats incoming. Shout out to Dylan. What is going on, brother? But yeah, let's see. Wick589 said, yeah, man, sometimes doing TA just a little off is a good control to help the TA. Like weird 22-day moving average, slightly off fibs, etc. Shout out to Wick589. That's actually funny. We did get a bounce the other day off of a mistaken Fibonacci level that I pulled, which accidentally snapped it to this low here. I mean, I actually did get a little bounce off that level twice, but the real level I was looking at was here, right? There really is. This is why I like to use the volume profiles, because the volume profiles aren't just random levels. They're levels that are derived from the actual volume being traded, right? So someone actually asked on the stream last night, Frankie, I think it was last night, they asked, where do you pull your volume profile from? Or maybe it was a few days ago. And my answer to that is the reason I love the volume profile is because there really is no wrong way to do it, right? If I go ahead and pull a volume profile, let me get rid of the VWAP to clean things up. If I pull a fixed range volume profile like right here, just random candles, right? these levels are still very likely to get respected, right? Actually, I think we're interacting with this level right now. Yeah. But all these levels are likely to be respected. And why is that? It's because the levels are not just randomly drawn on the chart, right? These levels are being derived from the volume traded within that area of price action based off the candles that are selected. So, same thing with I always say no bounce or rejection happens for no reason, right? There's a reason for every bounce, every rejection. The better question is, do you have that level on your chart, right? So, yesterday as we were looking at our, when we were bouncing off that mistaken fib that I pulled, I was like, wait, why are we bouncing here? And I'm like, oh, wait, there's a fib there. Dang it, I wasn't looking at that fib. But then we eventually came down to our key level with our trade setup, and that's what got us into the long down here. But again, wouldn't be surprised if that stops out. But on Ethereum, guys, my short, the plan remains exactly the same as yesterday. This is the actual short position. 3801.6. That's as close as I'm going to get to the actual entry. So again, right, we're within the volume profile. Let's see if we do come down to the low. That trade will play out in full. And then if we bounce back up here, I've already got my profits taken. So if I get stopped out, I'll make money anyway for a guaranteed winning trade. The only way to guarantee that you will win a trade is to manage your risk accordingly, right? All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Okay, let's shout out to K Diggity. Says that's all XRP does is whisper. Should we take a look at XRP? Let's see. Shout out to Dylan. Said, have you seen the large inverted head and shoulders on Bitcoin? Not here for the inverted head and shoulders is this. I don't know. We were looking at this as an inverted head and shoulders, which did wind up playing out, bringing us right back up to the highs, which I believe was that technical target. Hang on one second. I think that was like almost perfectly. Was it? No, never mind. But I don't really trade patterns. I don't really trade patterns like that. But yeah, I don't know. I guess you could call that a shoulder, this a head, and then this would be your last shoulder, something like that. I don't know. I don't really trade patterns. I do look at them for directional bias, right? So when we were forming this inverted head and shoulders, we took that into consideration. But really, the thing that took the most, thing that gave me the most confidence to look for my long down here was the fact that we were deviated below the volume profile with specific long entry triggers. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really pay attention to head and shoulders like that too much. But I guess that could be a head and shoulders. Pull up the daily. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm just not a huge pattern guy, to be honest. But yeah, I guess that could be. I mean, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know all the nuances of what invalidates head and shoulders, but I assume that's probably it. If I were looking at head and shoulders, I'd look at something like that. But yeah, let's see. Bada boom. It's a little sloppy. Shout out to Dylan. Let me know, Dylan. Is that what you're looking at? But yeah, that could be valid. I don't know. I've had a really hard time statistically proving patterns to myself, because it's you know what, guys? Here's the thing, right? I like to trade what moves the market, right? And that's simply put is orders in the market, right? The market doesn't move because it's creating a shape. And again, I want to be clear. You can trade patterns, right? You could just look at TradingView and trade trading patterns and do it profitably, especially if you can manage your risk, right? But the reason I don't trade that is because I prefer to trade things that actually move the market, such as orders in the market, right? Or just liquidity in general, which is basically the same thing. And to me, trading patterns are just a way to describe price action, right? So if I have a bull pennant here, and we talk about this sometimes, if I had a bull pennant here, right, I'm not necessarily sure, they say this breaks out 69% of the time or whatever it is. But to me, I never saw those. I always see different percentages of the hit rates. I can never really put my finger on it. I couldn't prove it myself. So it's just, I didn't like that. And once I started trading more liquidity concepts and the volume profiles, it just clicked more in my head. Again, not that you can't do this. It just worked better for me to trade it the way I trade. But I do look at this, right? If I see a bull pennant forming, I will use this as a directional bias, but I need to know what is going on inside of these candles. I need to know what the buyers and sellers are doing. Are there more people shorting here than longing? Because if so, there's a chance that we could fake out of the bull pennant and then get a move to the downside, right? I can't tell you how many bad longs I've stayed out of by looking at a bull pennant and identifying a ton of liquidity above the highs, getting a fake out of the bull pennant, and then a break to the downside. And actually, oftentimes, it'll fake out, and then break out. But you would never be able to know that just from looking at the trading pattern. So that's why I like to use the order flow and liquidity to actually identify where price is going to go. For me, right? This is what works for me. But there you go. All right, let's go ahead and continue on. Let's see. Yep, that's it. Shout out to Dylan. Yeah, I do see it, right? And I would take that into consideration. So when I see a pattern like this, really what I say to myself is, okay, hey, that's a bullish puzzle piece, right? We have an inverted head and shoulders, somewhat. Like you said, it is somewhat sloppy. But, if we did have that, right, I'm looking at this as like, hey, inverted head and shoulders, but I need other reasons to go long. But, hey, if we came down to our value area low, and I see my bullish confirmations to enter in a long below that low as we deviate, just like we did down here to ride it back up to the POC and the high, that would just be puzzle piece number 2, right? I'd be like, hey, I see a long entry here. It would make sense with an inverted head and shoulders to break out. And then what I would use the inverted head and shoulders for would be to find that technical target of where that breakout might bring you. Because I do find the technical target of trading patterns to be pretty accurate, right? So there you go. Let's go ahead and continue on here. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. We might be starting the final leg up. Yeah, of that pattern. Yeah, potentially. Thanks for all you do, Frankie. Shout out to Squatch Nose Crypto. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you for hanging out with us here. I'm just doing what I love, baby. I'm just doing what I love. All right, let's see. No, don't look at XRP. Close that page. Close the page fast. Shout out to Greg. But there we go. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Got our altcoin votes in. I will pin that. Also, shout out to the poll up here. 50% of people want Bitcoin to pump. 33% want it to dump. I feel like usually the wanting to dump is a lot lower than that. 33% of you guys wouldn't hate a dump. I like that. And then 10% of you guys like puppies, and 7% said you'll smash that like button if it's Rob's birthday, and it is Rob's birthday. Smash that like button. We're at 234, almost 250. I know we could get 550. Please let me give away these Frankie Candles hats. We got too many. We got too many hats. Actually, Tony D, I need a hat refresh. My hats are old and used. Do I have to buy them? Shout out to Tony D. But anyway, let's go ahead and continue on. Took a look at Ethereum. Let's go ahead and jump on into AVAX. Bada boom. Bada bing. It's going to zero, guys. It's all over. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, okay, so AVAX holding up pretty well. Obviously, we have some altcoins that have taken quite the beating, right? We have Polkadot here, almost down to its like very close to its bear market lows. I mean, I wouldn't say super close, 33% away, but almost back down to the value area low of its bear market range. We really need these things to, like, if we come back down into this value area low, like, this is very important spot. Same thing with, like, Atom. If you take a look at Atom. There we go. Yeah, look. This, oh, God, man, this is not, oh, hold up. Oh, okay. I thought Atom made a new low. Yeah, Atom is all the way back down to its, let me hide this position. Atom is all the way, whoops. Grab this out of the way so we can see. Atom is all the way back down to its volume profile low here. I believe, yeah, you're deviating below the range. God, Atom is dancing with danger here. Yikes. But yeah, this is not necessarily panic short area for me. We did have some bullish divergences forming here, but they did not do anything. I believe it was a, daily bull div. Oh, I guess it never printed. It is printing now, though. Woo! We're going to come back to Atom, guys. Let's jump into AVAX. We're going to come back to Atom because this could be something here. Let's jump over to AVAX real quick. Take a look at what we got going on. I'm actually going to clear the chart here. We'll start over nice and new. Mafia, what is that? Look behind you. Holy cow. What is that? Oh, my God. Anyway, let's go ahead. Shout out to Tony D. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says $30. PayPal. Why did I say PayPal? He said $30, pal. You know the drill. Shout out to Tony D. Yeah, I guess I do have to buy my own hats. Well, anyway, at least it's going to a good cause. It's going to some free trading education. Let's go. But let's go ahead and take a look here. So looking at AVAX, guys, I'm going to pull this whole volume profile here. Let me actually take a look at our periodic volume profiles here. I'm actually going to, I guess we'll look at the monthly profiles. Yeah, we've broken all these lows. Yikes. Okay. Well, I'll be honest with you guys. This is, yeah, I mean, okay. So a lot of the altcoins are kind of in this situation, right? Where they are losing their golden pocket, their macro golden pocket, which does open the door to potentially come back down to that 786, which would be pretty. Oh, guys, what's with those L's in the chat? What is that? I don't know what that is, guys. Yo, someone said, what strain is your inhaler? Oh, God. Shout out to the CandleMafia. You guys crack me up, man. You guys crack me up. Guys, I don't know what those blue things are in the chat. Don't put those in the chat, please. I don't know what those are, guys. Anyway, I'm not a nerd. I swear I'm not a nerd, guys. Anyway, I do make it a hard argument, don't I? But anyway, just taking a look here. I'm going to pull up the key levels for you guys here. Bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, so this actually, I mean, pretty clean chart, to be honest. And the fact that we have this losing this golden pocket, this does open up the possibility of coming down to our 786. Now, I'm not calling for this necessarily, but if we don't reclaim this golden pocket in this value area low, this key level of now resistance, we can't reclaim that. Could be seeing much bigger moves down to our next area of consolidation, right, which is sitting right here between, I would call it, let's pull a little range here, between about $22.58 all the way down to about $20.17. Like, this is your next macro support. And I could try to confirm this with some macro naked points of control, right? We can see, I bet you, I wouldn't be surprised if we have some monthly naked points of control down there. No monthly naked point of control. We do have a tapped monthly horizontal down here, though. So, yeah, you do have some confluence there. Let me pull up the, or that's the weekly. That's a tapped weekly. No monthly naked point of control. Let me pull this real quick. Bada boom. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty confluent area here, if I'm being quite honest with you, right? You have your weekly horizontal, your tapped weekly horizontal. You have the lower time frame area of consolidation, right? You have this little naked value area sitting down there, and you have that macro 786 sitting there. And if you zoom out even more, your value area high on a higher time frame, I believe, is a little closer. Yeah, on the daily volume profile here, that value area high of this macro bear market range does come right in through that level. This actually doesn't look horrible, in my opinion. Or not, doesn't look like a horrible level. It looks like a pretty strong level of support, in my opinion, right? Many, many reasons to look for support down here. And remember, you know, once you break out of especially a macro volume profile like we had down here, sometimes when you break out, you know, we never really came back down to test that value area high. We kind of just ripped out of here and never retested it, making that an even more interesting area of interest. And that is, again, coming in between about $22.58 and $22.58 or $20.11. Very, very interesting level there. I'm definitely going to be keeping this on the chart, and I think you should as well. Whether you take a trade or not is up to you, obviously, but I would definitely recommend having that on your level because, guys, if Bitcoin decides to break down out of its macro range, right, and we are going to get a bigger move down towards this macro golden pocket, I could easily see the altcoins coming down to these 786s, right? It's kind of like a similar area. So that's going to be key macro support, in my opinion. And, you know, more locally, let's pull up Market Cipher really quickly here. Now, remember, 16-hour money flow pretty deep in the red. Now, this is not a fresh money flow crossover like this is not a fresh money flow crossover like we're seeing on Bitcoin, right? Looking at the Bitcoin 16-hour, like this looks like we could be starting more of a move down. Like this looks like a little earlier in the move down. Right? But when you look at AVAX, you know, you've been in the red here for quite some time. You have snake eyes on the 16-hour, double green dot printing right now. Daily doesn't look great. 2-day, VWAP kind of lingering. You're pretty oversold here, to be quite honest, on the higher time frames, even on the 3 and the 4-day. Pretty oversold. So maybe some short-term relief wouldn't be impossible. 12-hour green dot. Let's check this lower time for, yeah. So let me see. 16-hour green dot confirmed. Check that 1 hour. Yeah. So this 1 hour money flow, as well as look at this 1 hour money flow is crossing up towards the zero line, looking to cross over into the green. 45-minute money flow is crossing into the green literally right now. So, you know, when you get these 12-hour green dots, these 16-hour green dots, the one in the 45-minute money flow crossing into the green at the same time can lead to a bigger move to the upside. So maybe we could see some short-term relief here with these money flow crossovers. But other than that, I would be very, very careful. There's no real clear signal for a long here, in my opinion, right? There was no strong bullish divergence down here with money flow coming up. Like even on the 4 hour, like no bullish divergence or anything. So I'll be honest, it actually might look like you want to come down a little bit more. So this is not a long for me. I would expect some chop, maybe come up a little bit, maybe come down a little bit. But I would rather have a strong setup, right? Now, if we were to get a bigger move down, take out these lows, put in a lower low on price, and then the 4 hour were to give us something like that, giving us a bullish divergence with money flow also coming up, that would be a much more confident trade for me to take, right? But right now, there is no entry here on AVAX, in my opinion. Not that we just randomly give a ton of setups on the live stream, but I usually try to use those setups as my kind of guide to like what we can anticipate in the short term. So yeah, no real setup here in my opinion. That's the next macro level of support. And let me just see if we have any daily naked points of control between where we're at now. Yeah, so you do have a daily naked point of control right down here. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking for support here, guys. I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking for support levels. I got daily naked point of control at 2360. It can be a level to watch. You also have one right here, the most local one. Like this will give you a little bit. Yeah. All right. Should we do it? Should we do it? All right. I'll talk about this for a minute, right? So you have a daily naked point of control down here. Why is this important, right? Never mind. It's not really. It's not really what I wanted to see. Never mind. Really what I was hoping for was that daily naked point of control could be an area where we could put a lower low into, right? I would like to put that lower low into that daily naked point of control to put that bullish divergence in. But if we come down here, that's not going to be a lower low, right? So I tried to give the setup, but it's just not there. But those are definitely going to be the key levels, right? And that local daily naked point of control coming in at 25.96. Other than that, I'd let things work out here. Because remember, as we break this more high time frame structure, let me hide the golden pocket real quick. Let me hide this profile. If we pull up Lux Algo, guys, here, you can see we did just get a swing change of character. What does this mean? This typically means you're better off looking for lackluster moves to the upside. This has kind of been my gist all week long. If you have a bearish change of character here, not only do you have a local, you also have a swing change of character. But at this point, once you get these, you're going to be more looking for, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get a bounce to the upside, but you're going to be more better off looking for a lackluster push to the upside to put in a lower high and then get another move down. So maybe we see something like this play out. But whether you get the move down, you have to reassess the price action as you come into resistance on AVAX, right? It's kind of the same thing as everything, right? We're getting the bearish change of characters. We can look for more shorts. But other than that, no real setup here, in my opinion. But those are the key levels that I'd be looking at. All right, let's see. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Shout out to Alex, says, I just DCA on spot these days and took some longs, which are all stop loss at break even. If it gets cheaper, I'll buy more spot and open new longs. Shout out to Alex. Hang on one second. I'm taking a picture of the alts just so I can keep an eye on them. And I'm pinning that, bro. That is literally what I like to do, right? And this is kind of why I feel like a lot of times on the live streams, I have to be a bit careful about what I say, right? Because I do feel that I have a responsibility. I know there's a lot of people watching, and a lot of people take what I say seriously. And that's why I am very careful about the way I word things, right? Because, it's hard for me a lot of times, right? Especially when price pumps and there's a lot of new people. I might be bullish or in a long position, right? Like I am right now. And people are like, I say I'm in a long position, and then we come up to the 16 hour, and I'm like, yeah, this looks bearish. And people are like, you're just saying it could go up or down, right? Like, you just said you were in a long position, but now you're saying it's bearish. Pick one, right? And that's just simply not how the market works, especially if you're a trader. And the way I explain it is exactly what Alex just said. When we have big moves to the downside, guys, I just buy cheaper Bitcoin, or I just buy my alts when they're on sale. And then I just look for those longs and shorts in these are typically shorter term trades. I do have swing long positions on leverage. I think I might be breaking a leverage record here, at least my own personal leverage record. I have been holding a leverage long down here from about $40,000. So I've been holding that since January. I think it's the longest I've held a long position. But typically they are shorter term trades. And Alex, that's exactly what I do. Yo, shout out to Tyler. Said, yeah, Frank, pick one. Jeez. Shout out to Tyler Durden. There's Dave Digital. What is going on, brother? We waited for you for about 25 minutes in the beginning of the stream, but then people started picketing for the charts, so we had to jump into the charts, bro. But shout out to Dave. We're glad you made it. But let's go ahead and continue on. Shout out to KD. Says, is Doge considered meme anymore? I consider it a blue chip meme coin is what I consider it, right? It's not as memey as some of the newer ones because it's not as volatile. It has a higher market cap. But yeah, I would consider Doge like a blue chip meme coin. All right, let's see. Wick says, what? Making money whether the price goes up or down? No way. I'm leaving. I'll go to Jason Casper. He wouldn't do such things. Shout out to Jason Casper, who also makes money trading Bitcoin whether the price is going up or down. Shout out to him. But let's go ahead. Mr. 100 said I only long. Let's go. Shout out to you, brother. It's not as degen as Pepe. Yeah, absolutely, Dave. I agree with you. But let's go ahead and continue on. We took a look at AVAX. And good thing I wrote these down because I did not know the other alts that we were looking at. So let me pull that up real quick. Let's see what we got. Oh, I got pictures of dogs on here. And an embarrassing selfie. All right, let's see. Solana, Algo, and Arrow. Let's take a look at Solana. Whoops. Bada boom. Actually, I'll just take a look at this Solana chart. And here we are, guys. Here we are. At key support. Solana, if this was a video or a live stream just about Solana, it would be like Solana hanging on the edge, right? Because we are down here at our key level of support. As you guys know, simply put, we did wind up going from our value area low here. We flipped the key levels to support. Once you flip that POC, next likely place for price to go is the value area high. Got stuck back within the range. And then the next likely place for price to go is going to be the POC and value area low. We wound up getting that. We deviate one more time back into the range, flip that POC to support, went for the value area high, didn't quite make it. But now we are back down here at the value area low of the range. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. This is definitely an important level of support. If we break this level, I would anticipate a potential drop back down to our next key level of support, which is coming in. I don't want to say it. I'm just reading what's on the chart here, guys. $108 to $101 for Solana if we decisively lose this level. Now, I will go ahead and look for some naked points of control that may be living within here. Pull up the weekly. Do we have any? I'm going to have to go into bar replay mode, of course. All right, no monthly. Let me see. This probably won't work. I might not be able to get these MPOCs. Yeah, it's not going to work. This used to work. Why does this not work anymore? Let me see here. Bada boom, bada bing. Did that work? No. Okay, so I can't get those naked points of control, at least right now. But what I was really trying to do is to see if we had any NPOCs on these wicks here that might be able to give us some levels to look at between this value area low and this value area high. But we can't find those, unfortunately. So, yeah, this is your key level. You lose this value area low, and if you are not getting bullish confirmations below the low, I would look for a potential move back down to these levels. Now, let me actually pull this. This is probably not even going to make sense. Okay, so we have gotten the full 786 retracement here. Grab that brush tool. We have gotten the 786 retracement. So, yeah, if we hold this level, we still have a chance to bounce back into the range. But once you start breaking that 786 and can't get back above with no bullish confirmations down here, that's where I'd expect a quicker move down to the value area high. Again, sitting at $109. Now, looking at Market Cipher, VWAP coming up on the 2-day. That's not a horrible look. Money flow still does not look great here. 3-day. Money flow also does not look great, right? This is just the information on the charts. This is not my opinion. Typically, when you see money flow come out like this, it does look like you could potentially get more downside, right? And that would make us anticipate any bounce to the upside, as long as that money flow continues out, any bounce to the upside would more likely be a lackluster bounce to put in a lower high and continue back to the downside, just like all the other coins that we just looked at. Almost at 300 likes, guys. Let's smash it up. I feel like we might be able to get to 550 tonight. I think you guys can do it. Get us to 550, and we will give away 3 Frankie Candles hats. Should we give away 5 for 550? Should we give away 55 hats? Smash that like button. Let's see. Shout out to JL, says, Frankie, do SUI, Render, or AVAX. If you scrub back to the last altcoin, we did just take a look at AVAX. Shout out to you, brother. So you can check that out while we're going through this stuff. You can go ahead and check out that AVAX TA. I need a hat. Shout out to Greg. Let's go. Okay, let's go ahead and see. Shout out to Lyrics. Said, Frankie, are you trading Casper I do not actively trade Caspa, or not Caspa, but Casper. I don't actively trade that. I would if I saw a setup for sure. It's not like there's no reason I don't trade it. I just, typically I stick mostly to Bitcoin, to be honest with you guys. We do trade alts in the Discord, but to be quite honest with you guys, the way we trade, right, especially when we trade with leverage, we don't necessarily need the giant moves in the market, right? We only need we just need price to move. That's all a trader needs, right? We don't necessarily need to call the next big move. We just need price to move in one direction or the other to make some money. So we do trade alts, but for the most part, I do focus mostly on Bitcoin. It's just easier to focus on one asset. And the fact that most things follow Bitcoin anyway, in the beginning of my trading career, there were lots of times where I would be in a trade on, say, Ethereum or even like another altcoin, and it would be like a fire setup, and then all of a sudden I check my phone and just be like liquidated, or back in the day liquidated, but for the most part recently, or in the past couple of years, stopped out in for a small loss, and it was only because Bitcoin looked bearish, right? So it's like you always have to, if you're trading the alts, you always have to keep an eye on Bitcoin. But in my opinion, it's just easier to trade Bitcoin, especially with leverage, right? We're up right now on Ethereum 278%, right? So we don't need a crazy altcoin to get 278% gains because we're using leverage, right? So I get 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x, 10x on my money without trying to hunt those next altcoins. I can just get it on Bitcoin with leverage, right? Not using leverage as a gambling outlet, but simply using leverage as a tool to increase our position sizes, right? I'm still managing risk very well. It's a very common misconception. I'm not going to go into it, but a lot of people always say, you leverage trade, that's gambling, and it's just simply not true, right? That's not an opinion. It's like you can use leverage as to gamble, right? But the way we use it is not gambling whatsoever. I'm a very, very conservative trader, to be honest with you. But anyway, that's the key levels, right? Like we really last line of defense, guys. If we lose this tomorrow, by tomorrow on the live stream, we may be getting a bigger move down to the downside. But maybe with these higher time frame VWAPs coming back up towards that zero line, if we can get those green dots, we may be able to get some kind of a bounce to come in here short term. But I wouldn't be trusting anything until we start seeing this money flow turn back around. Like even the 12-hour, 16-hour, not really. I mean, you do have a 16-hour bull div here, but yeah, I mean, we really want to see the money flow start to curve back to the upside. Even the 4-hour money flow was coming up. Now it's coming back out. Not the cleanest setups right now, right? Like typically when you're in an area like this looking for a long, those long setups need to be clear, right? You want the bullish divergence with money flow clearly coming up. We are just simply getting a lot of chop here, right? Which equals low probability trades. I do not take low probability trades. I'd rather sit out and miss a move than take a low probability trade. And if I do take a low probability trade, my stop loss is very tight. So there you go. But there's Solana for the most part. Let's see, weekly. Yeah, weekly red dot confirmed. Yeah, we really need to see this money flow turn around, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, 90-minute bull div confirmed. You got a little bounce here. Let me see something here. Let me pull up a blank Solana chart real quick. Let me go back to the 90-minute. Let me go ahead and, shout out to Good Eggs NFTs. Thank you for that super chat. Said, I'm here. Sorry I'm late. Shout out to Good Eggs. I actually got your NFT late pass. Thank you for sending that to my wallet. I got it. You're all good. We got you, brother. Hey, shout out to Dr. Crimson's girlfriend. Thank you for the super chat. Said, big thanks to Dave Digital for checking on me this week. Shout out to Dr. Crimson's girlfriend. Are you okay? What do you mean? Checking on you? What's going on? Let me know in the chat. You don't have to super chat again. Let me know. Are you okay? Shout out to Dr. Crimson's girlfriend. But let's go ahead and continue on here. Bada boom, bada bing. Yo, shout out to Rob. Said, JL, can you please hit the caps button one time, please? Okay, let's go ahead and continue on. So what I wanted to look at here, I want to pull up Lux Algo. Shout out to Lux Algo. And what I wanted to look at here was, come on, there we go. Okay, oh God, yeah, we're getting kind of chopped up here, to be honest. Just trying to see, yeah, you do have a change of character here. Let me pull this fib real quick. Bada boom. Okay. So yeah, I mean, if you are gonna get a bounce on Solana, these are the levels I would watch, right? So you have this local fib level, local fib retracement right here. This would be kind of long zone number one if I were looking to scalp Solana. Now, I want to be clear. There's no setup for me to take a trade. I shouldn't say long. I should just say looking for a bounce, right? We could bounce off this golden pocket 786 retracement. If we don't stick this, I would probably just be looking down to this fib, which brings you down here. But yeah, like if we don't bounce off these and I would really prefer to bounce off this, right? If we don't hold this, I don't know if we're going to get the bounce, right? But if we do come up a little bit, this would be somewhat of a decent place to look, especially if you can get a Lux Algo Smart Trail maybe on the 30-minute coming through there. No, maybe the 15. Yeah, not really. It's not the best setup, to be honest. Sometimes I look at these setups, guys, and if you know what I'm talking about with the Lux Algo entry strategy, typically we put an Ondo setup in here. If it wasn't last week, maybe the week before, we showed this kind of entry strategy, and it literally played out perfectly, but it was a much cleaner setup. We don't really have the clean setup here, if I'm being honest. But if we're able to maintain higher lows here, we could continue to see potential continuation to the upside. But again, nothing really to write home about, in my opinion. We're at key support. Any bounce to the upside would be looked at as lackluster, in my opinion. All right, let's see. Bada boom. Shout out to Mr. 100 said it's hard to hear him sometimes. Mr. 100. That might be the first time I've ever heard that. Shout out to Mr. 100. Usually I get, this guy's blowing my eardrums out. Shout out to Mr. 100. I think, 100, is my volume low? Makes me think my volume might actually be low here, because usually I'm blowing people's eardrums out. Shout out to Mr. 100. Yeah, I don't, sometimes the pickup on this mic is like, test, test, test. You could probably hear me loud and clear right now, but the second I do this, it probably gets a lot harder to hear me, right? And then I come right back. It has a really tight pickup. I don't know if there's a way to fix that. But yeah, let's see. Did you enter the Bitcoin long? Shout out to Kalichi. Did you enter the Bitcoin long on the 15-minute time frame? Kalichi, shout out to you. Shout out to Kalichi. Kalichi, you are you asking me if I took the long position, or are you asking me if I entered off of the 15-minute? Let me know. I am in the long position here, up about $100, 24%. Very small position for me. But like I said, not super confident in this setup, but I am in the long here. But I did enter off of an SFP. And I believe the SFP was bada boom, bada bing. Yeah, I was entering in off the continued swing failure of this wick back here. Shout out to Kalichi. Again, I don't know if you're asking if I entered off of the 15-minute or if I just entered the trade in general. I was entered in based off of these. I don't know if it was the 1 hour or the 45-minute. Yeah, I was entering in on these continuous swing fails of this level. And on top of the 15-minute bullish divergences, right, with money flow coming up, right? So shout out to the people who are not in the premium. These are some of the confirmations that I looked for on this trade. I know this is could be very helpful for someone trying to learn, but you have the lower lows on your price action on top of the swing failures already occurring. You have the 15-minute bullish divergence with money flow starting to come up, and that was partially some of the confirmations I was looking at. I did enter, but I don't know. Let me see. Shout out to Kalichi. Yeah, your little scalp. Shout out to Kalichi. Yes, I am in that position. Off of the 15-minute. Yeah, so this is literally why I entered, right? Swing failure, bullish divergence on the 15-minute with money flow kind of coming up. And then last night, I'll be honest, last night was like a better chance than any as this money flow crossover into the green was happening. What did we have going on the 4 hour? We had that green dot printing, which oftentimes does give us a bigger move up. But all that money flow crossover did was give us one more break of the highs before we just grinded down brutally all day. Or after that push to the upside, we just ground right back down to almost my entry. So still up $100, but it's almost at break even at this point. But you know, that's what I was looking at. Hopefully that helps you out. Shout out to Kalichi. Shout out to Mr. 100 said, AVAX better pump. Yeah, I'm right there with you, brother. But let's go ahead and continue on. What was our next altcoin? We took a look at AVAX. We took a look at Solana. Let's take a look at Algorand. Is Algorand still a thing? Shout out to Algo. All right, let's see here. Bada boom. Okay, so obviously we have lost our little range here, bear flag, so let's get rid of that. Bada boom, bada bing. Yo, shout out to Mark Dutch said, how come the like button is stuck at 323 likes? Let's break it to 400 right now, guys. We're giving away 5 Frankie Candles hats if we get 550 on the live stream tonight. Let's go. Let's see. Okay, let's go ahead and see. So for Algorand, let me pull this macro golden pocket all the way from the low all the way to the high. And here we are at critical support. This is kind of like that same 786 that we were looking at on everything else, saying, hey, let me actually pull that before the breakdown. It's kind of an ugly range. But there you go. What happens? This is why, what were we taking a look at first here? Was it AVAX? I think it was AVAX. Once you crack those lows, right, and you lose that golden pocket, where's that next place you're going to be looking for price to go? You're looking down towards that 786, right? So very similar to what I was looking at on AVAX, right? Was it AVAX? The coin? Yeah, right? So as we lose oh, wait, hang on. Whoa, I think it was AVAX. What is was it on this chart? I'm not going to spend the time looking for the chart. I'll give it one more shot here. Okay. But once you lose that golden pocket, you are expecting that 786 to come in. We are technically holding right now. We're back above that 786, so not too bad. And then here's that little sideways area of consolidation, right? This is what I think it was AVAX, where we were looking at the macro bear market range with the value area high flying right through this level, which is very similar here. Do we have the monthly level as well? Monthly MPOC potentially? Not really. But yeah, pretty similar setup here, to be honest. So definitely pretty important support, in my opinion. You really, 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 really want to hold this level. 786. You want to remain above this and definitely above this previous value area high. Right? And I would actually even pull this right here before the... Ooh, baby, it's sketchy. It's sketchy. If you pull that all the way, you are kind of stuck. Yeah, so I'll tell you what. Let me get rid of this. Let me draw this, right? Because this will give you context into like when you're kind of out of the woods, right? You are not out of the woods just yet. You are actually approaching pretty important resistance right now. Because let me explain something here real quick. If there's the POC, there's the value area low, right? So we dropped 786, lost it, reclaimed it, but we are now coming up to a value area high. If you cannot get back above this level, even though we're above that 786, if you can't get back above this value area high, you could very well get stuck in this volume profile and come back down to the value area low, right? So this is your important level of resistance, in my opinion. 14 cents, about 0.1417. You got to get above there, hold it as support for a bigger move to the upside. And obviously holding above the 786 is important as well, but honestly, it's not as important if you can't get above this, right? This holding the 786 means nothing if you get sucked into this range, because if you get sucked into this range or accepted, you're probably just going to break that 786 again anyway, which would be bearish in my opinion. So that's what I would watch on Algorand here. But let's pull up Market Cipher really, really quick. Bada boom. 2-hour red dot. Oh, God, man. Oh, don't get stuck in here. Yikes. All right, let's see. We have a daily green dot potentially. Oh, man. Green dot confirmed on the 16-hour. Yeah, I'll tell you what. The 45-minute money flow crossover and the 1-hour money flow crossover into the green is kind of your, like, saving grace here on some of these altcoins. If these money flow crossovers on the 45-minute or the 1 hour do not give you a move up, things could get choppy/bearish. So be aware of that. And then underneath you, your local levels of resistance, if you lose that value area high, looking down to that POC, I'll actually label these so you guys know the context of what you're looking at. Your POC, bada boom, and your value area low, bada bing. So, yeah, these are your key levels. If you do come back down, these are the major zones I would be looking at. Basically just looking at price in terms of this volume profile until you wind up breaking out. At that point, you can zoom out and look at things in your grander context. But remember, pull up Lux Algo real quick. Remember, swing change of character. This means, right, that price or that you're going to be much better off more often than not, right? Not 100% of the time. No market is going to respect what you think or what the TA says 100% of the time. When you get these swing bearish changes of character, you are going to be better off looking for the lackluster pushes to the upside to then reject the next, probably these lows are going to be your next key level of resistance. So yeah, that, you're going to be better off looking for lackluster pushes to the upside to do what? Put in that lower high and continue back to the downside. So there you go. But until, you wind up breaking out of this local range, like locally, these are your key levels, in my opinion. So there you go. All right, let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at Arrow. Bada boom. How are we doing on time? Let's check it. Smash that like button, guys. We're at 350. So close. Let's go ahead. Smash that like button. We're going for 550 tonight. Shout out to Golden. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, broken chair, day number 10. I kick puppy coins for fun. Shout out to Golden. Said, I kick puppy coins for fun. Are you with me, Elon? LFG. Saturday Night Live. LOL. Shout out to Golden. Let's go. Shout out to Golden. I don't know if you were here in the beginning of the stream, but I started sinking a little bit. But we're back up. We're back up, baby. I just had to threaten the chair a little bit, and we talked some sense into it. But shout out to Golden and all the doggy coins out there. Appreciate the super chat, bro. Drop that golden emoji if you guys love Golden as much as we do. Drop that golden emoji, and let's start a golden waterfall or golden spritzer. No. Golden waterfall it's golden waterfall or nothing. No golden spritz. It's even worse than the other one. Anyway, let's continue on here, guys. How did we get here? I don't know why I'm like this, guys. But shout out to Golden. Drop those golden emojis. But let's go ahead and continue on and take a look at Aerodrome. Unbelievable. Is Mrs. Candles? I got to call Mrs. Candles, guys, because it is 753 degrees in here. Do I think that she will answer the phone? I won't put her on the spot. Mrs. Candles is super shy. Oh, shout out to Golden. Oh, no. Shout out to Golden. Yo. Oh, Mrs. Candles. Mrs. Candles, Hi, Mrs. She hung up on me. She answered and hung up. Oh, hello. Oh, I see. I see what happened there. I think Mrs. Candles might have taken a nap. Hey, Mrs. Candles, can you turn the AC on by chance? It's 115 degrees. Thanks, Mrs. Candles. She was definitely asleep. Her hair was crazy. Anyway, let's take a look at Aerodrome here, guys, real quick. Let's take a look at the KuCoin chart. Bada boom, bada bing. There's those golden emojis. Let's go, baby. Yo, shout out to M4RC. Yes, I will take a look at that for you in just a second, right after we take a look at this. Right after we take a look at Aerodrome. Let's take a look at the daily. Yeah, change of character, guys. This is typically there we go. Okay. Yeah. Let me go ahead and oh god, daily and weekly. I think we looked at this yesterday. Yeah, you had this bullish divergence. You can see this marked out on Lux Algo's oscillator matrix here with this gold line letting you know you did have a bullish divergence here. You did get some kind of move up, but just zero follow through and then another push back to the downside. Not the when you're not seeing follow through on the pushes up like this, guys, it's not the best look. To be quite honest, and oftentimes results in more downside, especially when you're not respecting you did respect it perfectly, right? This daily and weekly naked point of control. But if you cannot reclaim this level, this is still your key level. It's the same key level from yesterday, sitting at 80 cents, right? 0.80642. If you can't hold this, chances are you're not going to be able to get that move up, right? Flipping this to support will be somewhat bullish in my opinion, but if we didn't hold it here, what I like to see on these big naked points of control is a hit into them, something like this where you get a bullish hammer and then a strong reaction, but you're just not getting that follow through. And when you're taking a look at the higher time frames, such as the daily, yeah, it's even here, right? Bearish change of character. Can you get moves to the upside? Absolutely, right? You got big move down, bearish change of character, move to the upside, but you would have been better off shorting that lower high, right? Come back down. Another pump to the upside, short the lower high, and then you make a new low, right? So as we're sitting here in the same exact situation, let me pull up the other Aerodrome chart real quick, just because it's naked, or clean, I should say. This bearish change of character is a little bit of a different chart, just because it's on KuCoin. But, even here, right? Like your now new key resistance is the lows here, right? These lows are going to be very, very important resistance on top of this value area low. Because once you get that bearish change of character, lackluster bounces are what you're going to be looking for, right? Lackluster bounce to the upside before putting in a lower high and continuing back down. So keep that in mind, right? And let me go ahead and what am I doing here? Arrow. Pull back up the Coinbase chart. But there you go, right? Like still, that's kind of my bias, right? Like better off shorting the higher lows than looking for mega longs. Let's pull up Market Cipher real quick. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Yeah, 16-hour bull div. Like kind of. Like you do have a little bit. I mean, maybe you get some short-term relief, but what you got to do here on Aerodrome is flip that level 2 support here. This is your key level. Same thing as yesterday. If this 16-hour bull dip gives you no follow-through, I'd probably be holding on for lower, to be quite honest. Next key level, would be, yeah, you do have this daily here. I believe this is tapped. Yeah, it's a tap daily. You already hit it. So, next key level would be, in my opinion, this daily level sitting at about 70 cents. If you decisively reject this daily and weekly naked point of control, next stop is probably going to be that 70-cent level. So there we go. Let's see. Bada boom. Shout out to Tony D. Said we're going to get GTA 6 before a new chair for Frank. Shout out to Tony D. I don't think we're ever getting GTA 6, to be quite honest with you, Tony. But you guys are funny, man. All right, let's see. Shout out to Crypto Crabman. Said last time I was in a mosh pit was 20 years ago at the October in Beemore during a bear versus shark show. Shout out to Crypto Crabman. I didn't even know those were a thing. Shout out to you. I haven't been in I don't know if it's a mosh pit. But yeah, I was actually, shout out to anybody out there who loves dubstep. I used to be a big dubstep guy. Dubstep is insane. I love dubstep. Those are the only kind of pits I've been in, but it's not really a mosh pit. It's kind of like a headbang pit. But anyway, with that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for the altcoins tonight. I appreciate all of you guys. Actually, real quick, let me pull up Bitcoin real fast because I did want to pull up who asked for it. Shout out to M4RC. Said he wants to see Bitcoin, the BTC fib from the low from the low to the $64,000 high. Let's see. Bada boom. Are you talking about like the old macro fib? I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Are you talking about like this fib from the bear market low in 2017 to the 64K high like that? Is that what you're looking for? Let me know. Bada boom. Yeah. Let's see. Shout out to Mr. 100. Can we do a community prayer for Bitcoin? I think we might be able to do that. Everybody light your candles. I want to let's set the mood here. Let's set the mood. Oh, we don't even have it. I got to get more candles. I got to start lighting my candle more. But if everybody can put their candles in the chat, I'd like to have a prayer, a CandleMafia prayer for Bitcoin. We're going to pray to the crypto gods. Here we go. Candles in the chat. We need some kind of candlelight here. Let me see. Now the low from 64K to the high today. Okay, shout out to M4RC. After we pray for Bitcoin, we will absolutely 100% look at that. Okay, well, we're not going to pray. We'll do like a Bitcoin poem, and because the crypto gods do like the poems. There we go. Candles in the chat. Here we go. Crypto gods, if you can hear us, please hear our thoughts and prayers of Bitcoin. Send Bitcoin higher. Don't make me a liar. You'll embarrass me in front of hundreds, and that will make me sad. This isn't supposed to rhyme, guys. This is a non-rhyming poem. If Bitcoin loses the range lows, please send it to 51 to 52K with the ungodly bullish confirmations so we can get some fresh longs to 51 to 52K. And after that, if you could send it up to about 100, 115K, that would be wonderful. I don't mean to sound greedy or nagging, but if you could do that, that would be absolutely wonderful. We all love you. This is on behalf of the entire Candle Mafia, and we will worship you forever if you can please just make Bitcoin bounce. Thank you. Thank you, Candle Mafia. And I think all those candles, all that energy is going to get up in there to the crypto gods. And maybe we could get this thing to bounce, even though I kind of favor more downside, to be quite honest with you. But maybe those Bitcoin poems, non-rhyming poems, can get up there to the crypto gods. And they'll just screw the TA and send this thing to the moon. Let's go. Shout out to Golden. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Where are we? Here we go. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He said you have 2 weeks to get a new chair. Hang on. You have 2 weeks to get a new chair, and then I'm calling Atlanta SWAT Department on a kidnapping that you stole my chair. Shout out to Golden. Wait. Shout out to Golden. Tony D, let's order some chairs. We don't want any trouble with the ATL SWAT. Shout out to Golden, and shout out to Atlanta SWAT. But with all that being said, guys, I think that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Real quick. Let's pull this. What do they call them? Fibs. So let me grab. Where's M4? Where are we? Let me find the chat real quick. Yo, those candles go hard, man. Okay, the low from 64K to the high today. Okay, so let's see. Where's 64K? I grab my bearings. Bada boom. Come up to a higher time frame. Bada boom. Okay, yeah, this fib right here, I assume, is what you're talking about. And if I pull up a clean chart here, let me pull up this clean chart. Bada boom, bada bing. This is the fib you're looking for, brother, from this low at 64 to today's high. And this is kind of the zone, right? This is kind of the zone that I'm looking at. If we can hold above this golden pocket 786, I do think there is a chance for my scalp long to continue playing out here. Right? I do think there's a chance we can at least come up to these TP levels up here. But if we start losing this golden pocket 786, I'll probably just stop out at break even, call it a day, find a new setup tomorrow. But we'll have to see what happens. But that golden pocket, if you're looking for it, brother, is sitting between 64,670 and 64,617 with a little side sauce action on the 786 sitting at $69. And with all that being said, guys, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. Thank you guys for joining me in that crypto poem to the crypto gods. Hopefully it pumps Bitcoin at least into my TP levels. If it does, we'll come on here tomorrow and celebrate. But this doji candle, I mean, this is like watching paint dry. It's a crazy doji candle on Bitcoin right now. Like, this is like, so at least on the 4 hours, super indecision here. So we'll have to see what happens. But until then, tomorrow, hopefully those prayers go to work. And we'll be here tomorrow either way, either celebrating a little pump on those TPs or crying about that dump to the downside. But we'll see what happens, Mafia. Now you guys have all the key levels and my general thoughts on where I think the market is going to go next. Just remember that macro volume profile. As long as we remain in that zone, we do know where we're looking at below us. So with all that being said, I love each and every single one of you guys. I do not just say that. Smash that like button on your way out. We did not get to 550 likes. Smash that like button on your way out if we're able to get 550 likes before the end of the actual stream. When the music turns off, I'll still give away the hats, but I don't know if we're going to be able to do it. But smash that like button if you guys found any value in this live stream. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Frank Candles YouTube channel. That's all I got. Come on, Bitcoin pump. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Look what's next for me, Joe. I'm gonna get that second bell. Where the is it? They should have had them 2 bells ready. Spit shine for me.
Yeah. Head up in the clouds, though they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test. Now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, so nobody's into me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose, and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working, I'm up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah.
Oh, Mafia! Shout out to, I didn't see who said it. Who said it? Somebody mentioned the hidden bullish divergence on the daily. I actually did not mention that, guys. But let me actually talk about that for just a second. Now, I will look at hidden bullish divergences, guys. But it's not, I don't want to say I don't look at them. I do look at them. It's something I typically do look at regular bear divergences in general. For whatever reason, hidden bullish divergences just do not pop out to me. Whereas a regular divergence, just kind of like, I can like look at the chart for 2 seconds and be like, I see the bull div. But technically, we do have higher lows on our price action here with lower lows on our momentum waves here, which could be a hidden bull div forming if we're able to get that green dot on the daily. Which that VWAP, I mean, we will know in about 49 minutes here if we're going to get that VWAP to cross up and potentially give us a green dot. If we do get that, it could potentially give us that hidden bullish divergence. Will it play out? I don't know. And if it does play out, will it give us a huge move to the upside? Maybe. But remember that 16-hour money flow still does look a little bit more bearish, but it doesn't mean that hidden bull div can't give us a move up. But again, I do pay more attention to regular divergences, but it is worth pointing out, guys. It is worth pointing out. But we'll see. Like I said, the saving grace, in my opinion here, on all the altcoins, even Bitcoin as well, is the 1 hour and the 45-minute money flow. If we can get these to work up, it looks much uglier on Bitcoin than it does on the altcoins. It looks better on the altcoins. But we'll have to see what happens here. Next green dot on the daily, maybe the thing that gives us the move up. Will it have something to do with that hidden bullish divergence? Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. I'd still like to see a move down to that value area low first. But remember, money flow indicates a longer-term trend. And right now, money flow is coming out on a lot of time frames. So take that for what it's worth, guys. But either way, we'll be back here to check in on price tomorrow, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as you guys know, every single weekday right here. Shout out to Golden for the 5 Frankie Candles memberships. Let's go. Shout out to you, brother. My stream deck's on the wrong page. I can't hit the button. But shout out to Golden. Drop those golden emojis to close out the stream and smash that like button on your way out, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Same place, same time. You know the rest. That's all I got. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming on my landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the roll, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a